Welcome to Inquiry into Self. So, as we're looking at shadow work and concluding that discussion, there's a real simple thing that is what happens when we're in our shadow. And our shadow is simply where our mind has decided that something in our experience shouldn't be, is less than, is suboptimal, it's not what we'd prefer. And so we've delegated it to the lower realms, the reject area. But the infinite is interested in all experiences. Look at what the infinite is manifesting. Everything. So the shadow realm is where our conditioning is saying, well, this isn't how I would make it if I were in charge. But we can check and see and explore what is causing that preference. And when we start to simplify it, it's usually so much less a challenge than we think. So, for example, many people have a comfort, most people, with being treated with kindness, with respect, with consideration. And for some people, it's particularly important. I really want to be acknowledged or understood or respected or treated kindly, included, whatever it is. And the role is that I want to be receiving kindness and respect. And when we're outside that role, it doesn't feel very good. And some people, for them, that's really, really important. For others of us, what really matters more is we don't want to be dependent on others. We don't want to be vulnerable. We don't want to have to ask for help. We don't want to be, the one who's now having to receive because something fell through in our planning. So we just don't want to be receivers at all. We just want to be the strong ones, the ones who can give to others, who have enough, who've got it planned out. So you could be both, right? But people tend to have a stronger attachment one way or the other. I want to be receiving kindness, or I don't want to be in a receiving position. I want to be in a giving, strong position. And life will give us opportunities to be outside of those comfort zones. Sometimes it will be our role to receive the brunt of other people's frustration. Rather than receiving kindness, their stress is going to pour out onto us. They'll have whatever is going on and they'll bump into us, and all their cares, concerns, anger, whatever just bubbles over onto us. And now our role is to be the holder of the space. That's not the role we wanted. We want to be the one who receives kindness, but now we're the ones to be the holder of the space that allows all their frustration to just pass on through, or whatever the situation is calling for. And in the other case, the people who don't want to be asking for help, our role is to ask for help. Our role is to be vulnerable. Our role is to run out of our resources and to have to check and see where there's somebody available to help us. And it's that simple, really. We wanted to be treated with kindness, but instead it's our turn to hold the space. We wanted to be strong, but instead it's our turn to ask for help. If we just simplify it down to, it's simply a role. It's a passing role. It's just how life is showing up for this mind-body experience at the moment. And then we can really acknowledge, I've been in this role before. Yeah, I've had people spewing their anger at me before. Yeah, I've had to ask for help before. It all works out. It kind of can calm that mental anxiety that doesn't want that role. We are the infinite. interested in playing out all the parts and unhurt, unharmed, regardless. There's other types of ways it could be. Some people, they like planning for the future. They like how the future has all this possibility. We've got all this great things happening, and they're less interested in thinking about the past. I remember I got hurt in the past, or I'm doing better than I was in the past. So the role they like is planning for the future, not rehashing all that pain that seemed to have happened in the past. Other people are just the opposite. The future seems so unknown. It just seems a little overwhelming. Who knows how that's going to work out? This is going to work out. I prefer that I could just continue what was going so well in the past. I really liked it when, whatever, I really liked it when I lived there. I really liked it when I had that job. I really liked it when I was in that relationship. So the attachment is, I wish I could bring that past forward. The future looks anxious to me. Those are just simply roles. One is somebody with a lot of nostalgia for the past. One is somebody who likes getting into planning and future projecting these great possibilities. Those are just roles. But whether we're attached more to nostalgia or more to planning, the time will come when it's not going to be in our comfort zone. The nostalgia person is going to have to take some steps for the future. And the planning person is going to have to step back from being so future oriented and actually take care of things that are happening right now because of the past. So those are just simply the roles in the moment. We're spontaneously called forth in each moment to take care of what's to be taken care of. And that's just the role. What we are is the infinite being that is unhurt and unharmed and survives way beyond that. So when that discomfort comes up, oh, I'm in a role I don't like, you can just stop and really identify what is the role this moment is calling for. Just simply, without judgment. Our judgment is, well, obviously it's better to be strong. Obviously it's better to be treated kindly. Obviously it's better to have a plan for a positive future. Obviously it's better to be able to cherish all those good things that happened to us in the past. Maybe it's not so obvious. What is the moment actually calling for? Is the moment calling for us to dig deep, to be a huge space for somebody else in the moment? Is the moment calling for us to be vulnerable? Is the moment calling for us to take care of things from the past, to take care of what's going on right here in the moment? Is the moment calling for us to take care of what's to come? Just some simple things we know. Yeah, this is the best preparation for the next week, month, year. Just do it as the next step without procrastinating. All of these things are just roles in the moment. They really run up on the surface. And because what we are is so vast, when we take care of the surface things, we can actually feel them to be surface. We can actually feel that something in us is unharmable and is going to outlast this simple role. We're in a play. We get so lost in the play, it just feels like, I hate having this that I have to do, but it's a role for the moment, just for the moment. And when we allow ourselves to just feel the temporariness of how simple this role is right now, when we actually name it, oh, look, it's my role right now to take care of blankety blank. It's just a role, it's going to pass. It's just a moment in this play. It gives us a perspective of the rest of our being, the true self, the timelessness that we are, the alive immensity that we are. We're not the role. The role is a passing cloud across our sky. So often, we're just so in the midst and thick of it. It just feels so intense. But if we just label it, not that labeling is the answer to anything, but it actually helps calm the mind in this moment. Oh, right now I'm to be the receiver. Oh, right now I'm to be the grounding. Oh, right now I don't need to procrastinate. I'm simply to take blankety blank step. And then let the mind have its area that it gets restored back out of its anxiety. And then as the mind calms, it's easier to remember and notice, oh yes, and I'm so much bigger. What I am outlasts the role. So often our ideas about the roles that we have to take just start tumbling around and troubling us and causing all this tension in our body. But the truth is, we outlast every circumstance. We outlast every role. And that's all they are. So as you look at areas where you're feeling so uncomfortable, uncomfortable with what's happening to you, or uncomfortable with what you're contributing in life at the moment, it seemed like now you're the one bringing the problem or whatever it is. You can just allow yourself to remember we are so much more than this moment. We are this alive, unharmable essence that persists through all time. So this is just a simple way of allowing the shadow to be integrated in, to see it as part of the wonderful interplay. Yes, of course, we're not always the giver. Sometimes we're the receiver. Yes, of course, we're not always the receiver. Sometimes we're the giver. Of course. As we allow that to just be, we can feel the rightness of the puzzle. The rightness that some parts of our puzzle piece are the arm and some parts of our puzzle piece are the receptacle. So allow yourself to just take a look at whatever has been stressing you and try this simple way of framing it. It contains it and then allows your sense of the eternal, of the timeless to come back into perspective. And if this has helped you or you think it would help somebody else, please push like and subscribe.